Hi friends, happy Wednesday. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this is a different day. Maybe it's because of Labor Day, but like literally every day this week I've been thinking it's a different day. I keep feeling it's a Thursday, it's a Friday. I don't know what day it is, but it's where we are, okay? So, pep talk time. I hope that you're intentionally choosing to show up to your journey, even if you don't feel like it, even if it is a little bit struggly, even if you are crazy busy. I get it. I'm with you. I feel it. But you guys, I've been messaging quite a few of you asking you for some of your own personal victory transformations. It's not necessarily about finishing a program, although you know how I feel about that. I think there's a lot of wins that come from that. I think that there is a huge portion of our belief that builds from starting something and completing something, even if it's a 7-day something. So if you're brand new here and you're like, I need a quick fast win, go check out Clean Week. Okay, it's literally 7 days long. I think it's a really epic and amazing program. And if you have ever signed up for a free Beachbody On Demand membership, you get access to that. Even if you don't have the annual bod, you can still do that program. But there's a lot of power that comes from starting something and then seeing it through. And I know we tend to focus on the big finish and the big results and the change in your metrics, the measurements, the photos, the size, the number on the scale, all of that. Yes, all of that is important. All of that does, in fact, paint the picture of where you're at in your journey. But sometimes the biggest victory of all is from choosing to continue to show up even on the days and the seasons and the weeks it's really inconvenient. And a lot of you are in that place right now. A lot of you are encountering resistance in your journey. Maybe you just committed to it and literally things keep happening. If that is you, if you keep encountering big blocks, resistance, legitimate disasters and fiascos in your life, I want you to find this book. Okay, it's called The Big Leap. I literally thought I was reading a different book this entire time. I thought I was reading The Gap and the Gain, but it's this book and it's been awesome. I've learned so much about it, so much about how we do create resistance on a subconscious level that does manifest in our lives, because at the end of the day, our brains are primal and they want to keep us safe. They want to keep us comfortable, even if the safe and the comfortable place isn't something that serves you. And if you're there right now, it's okay. Self-awareness is an amazing thing. If maybe you have been there and you've been working to move past it, I applaud you. This journey that we're on, you guys, so much of it's mental. It's a decision. I was talking to Carla about this after everybody got off Zoom this morning and we finished our workout. We were laying on the ground, breathing heavy. I was like, what just happened? I don't know. And we were talking about how a lot of us want the easy button. A lot of us think that because it is challenging or because there are obstacles in your way, it's just not meant for you. And if you want to believe that, go ahead. Like, I can't convince you otherwise. But I want to remind you that this journey isn't supposed to be easy. And it's not that it's supposed to be hard and struggly, but there is going to be discomfort and there are going to be obstacles and there are going to be hard choices that you have to make. And you're going to have to come to a place in your journey where you want that, where the alternative no longer will serve you. That's what happened with me. I was never into fitness. I laughed at these people that did these home workouts. I had a girlfriend that kept inviting me and I was like, ew, I don't need Beachbody. I'm good, thanks. I don't want to drink your creepy shake. I don't need to do your living room workouts. Number one, that shit doesn't work. And number two, I'm better than that. I didn't say that, but that's what I felt in my heart. And I had to come to a place where kind of like, knees in the gravel, I was at a low place. I was at a place where I needed something different. And some of you are there. And then if you're there, you just have to make the decision that you're going to do the thing. You're going to figure out the money part. If you want to do this, then you figure it out. You sell some stuff. You bake some things. You cut out the Starbucks or the Target runs. Is it going to be like overnight? No, like maybe you're going to have to layer this into your budget over the next couple of months. But like the point is, if you want this, then you're going to do what it takes to figure it out. If you have all the tools, but you keep saying this keeps happening and that keeps happening, it's just not, my life is hard. Well, you know what? Like life is hard. So figure it out You are perfectly capable of this. It's not like I have more discipline or I have more time. I used to do that. I lived in my little box and I was like, well, it must be nice for her. She must have extra motivation. She must have extra time. She must have extra people that accommodate her, or her kids are older, blah, blah, blah. Does this sound familiar? Because we all freaking do it. It's human nature, right? We scroll, we watch people, we criticize them, we judge them. We collect all the proof of all the reasons why it's not for us, and that our feelings and our struggle is validated. But at the end of the day, you are the only person that can change the trajectory of your journey. It's not about the tools you have. It's not about what your coach says or what your partner or anyone else in your friend group, how they show up for you. You are the secret sauce. You are the one that will decide if you're going to figure it out, and you're gonna get uncomfortable, and you're gonna be okay with a little bit of failure and a little bit of trial and error. You're gonna be okay with the struggle. You're going to be okay with it being challenging. You're going to be okay with the discomfort that comes, because all those things are crucial for change. You have to be uncomfortable. And you know what? Those words have a lot of negative connotations, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't mean it needs to be negative. It doesn't mean there has to be struggle. You get to reframe this. You can see this as a challenge. You can see this as an opportunity, or you can see this as, it's just not for me. This is too hard. It must be nice. But at the end of the day, you get to make that decision. And if you're feeling a little convicted right now, you're hearing some of yourself in that, because I hear some of myself in those words, even to this day, you guys. This keeps me honest. Coaching keeps me consistent. It keeps me engaged. Getting on that morning Zoom. I know there's a lot of you that are like, I don't want to get on Zoom. I don't want to work out with people. I don't want people to see me. But it's not so much that we're watching each other as we're accountability, and layering that in. It can be such a freaking game changer. So use the tools. I'm not going to watch you. This morning we were talking about that on Zoom, and I said, honestly, the only time I'm looking at anyone is when I'm half-assing my own workout and I'm procrastinating it, and I'm looking for an opportunity, a reason to stop. Okay. So don't allow that to get in your way and be like, oh, it's not for me. How do you know if it's not for you if you haven't tried it, right? So moral of the story, it is okay if it's a little struggly. And the word struggly is not necessarily bad. It doesn't mean you need to stop. It doesn't mean you need to create all this resistance. It doesn't mean you need to come up with all these reasons why it's not for you. I just want you to look at your journey, to step back and be like, it's okay if I don't really feel like it today. It is okay if this feels challenging. It is okay if deep inside me, maybe I feel a little worried or a little panicky that it's going to be more challenging than I'm capable of. You are the driver of your bus, and you are the one that gets to change your filter. So instead of saying, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is for me, instead you can be like, you know what? I'm committed to being a work in progress. I'm the only one that can change my journey. I can change my outcome. I'm the only one that's in charge of my filter and the words that I choose to think, because you're going to think things automatically, because you're human, that maybe don't serve you and maybe create a negative reaction in your body. That's why we talk about personal development so frequently, because I still do this on the regular, where I have to change it. It's part of self-conditioning, right? It's part of you shifting the entire journey. So if it has been challenging, if you have been intimidated, if you are looking for all the reasons why you can't or you shouldn't, or it's just selfish, friend, I'm calling you out on that today. I have been on this journey for a really long time. A lot of you have been on this journey with me for a really long time, and it's just part of the process, right? It's part of figuring it out as you go, and it's part of trying new things. It's part of getting uncomfortable and leaning into that place, because that's where the growth is. That's where the change comes from. That's where all the good stuff is. It's okay. It's okay if it's challenging. It's okay if it's uncomfortable. It's okay if you have to modify, and you have to modify the modifier. And it's sometimes you literally show up for 5 minutes or you march in place. That is still you winning at your journey, because that is where the wins come from. Yes, I love to celebrate the before and afters and the getting to the end of the program and getting the little badge on bot or whatever. That's awesome. But honestly, the biggest victory comes from you deciding that you're going to use this as your lifelong journey. And you're not just going to quit. You're not just going to phone it in. You're not just going to come up with reasons why you got to put it back on the shelf. This is about you making it work for wherever you're at right now. And if that means that the program you're doing isn't serving you, that's okay. If that means you literally push play for 5 minutes a day, you count that as a victory. If that means what you need right now is more play and fun and walking and swimming, or I don't know, like just moving your body outside, that freaking counts. We need to get out of this mindset where it has to look a certain way and it needs to unfold in a certain time frame. That is not real freaking life, you guys. So wherever you're at today, I am cheering you on. I am believing in you. I can't do it for you, but you know I'm going to root for you, and I'm going to share my authentic journey even when it's imperfect. Not so that you feel like you have permission to struggle alongside me, but so that you can take a breath and be like, okay, I'm not off track. I'm right where I need to be. I'm doing the next right thing. I'm going to celebrate the process. And instead of being so focused on the end result, I am going to find my wins every single freaking day. Cool? Cool. So the book again that I'm recommending, it's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It's fantastic. He has a mantra in here that I'm going to read it to you, and I'm going to drop it in a comment so you can make this your own. You can put it in places. I've literally put it all over my house. I have it in every single book that I'm reading. I'm going to take a screenshot and make it the cover on my phone. I have it inside my coffee cup cabinet, so when I open my cup and when I open the cabinet in the morning, it's the very first thing I see. I am literally brainwashing myself with this. And some of you might think that's extreme, but that's what this has taken for me to change my life. If you knew me when I started this 10 years ago, I was an entirely different person, an entirely different mom, an entirely different wife, an entirely different daughter, an entirely different friend, an entirely different human. And I didn't like her. I wouldn't want to go back and be her. And it had nothing to do with the number or the size or any of that. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like the thoughts that I chose to keep. And a lot of you are in that place right now, and it is okay. I'm telling you this because there is hope, and you can change it. And it's not a magical thing. It's not something where you say enough affirmations and one day you wake up different. This is about you conditioning yourself, not just your body, not just with nutrition, not just with movement, but also with the thoughts you choose to think. I still have the negative thoughts. I still have the squirrel. I had to do so much personal development yesterday. August was a tricky month for a lot of us. So if that's where you're at, there's no reason to have shame. There's no reason to feel guilt. There's no reason to shit all over the place or come up with these lists of the things you need to change. Instead, shift your focus. How am I winning? How am I choosing to show up today? And collect all that wins, man. You have to be your own hype girl, because I think a lot of us are waiting for other people to show up that way. And you've got a Sarah, but Sarah doesn't go with you 24/7. I live in some of your heads. I like that. Anyways, so in this book, he said to write this down. What does he call it? There's a certain word for it. I don't know. It's an expression he has. But the affirmation is, I expand in abundance, success, and love every day, and I inspire those around me to do the same. I expand in abundance, success, and love every day, and I inspire those around me to do the same. And so I'm literally writing it everywhere, and I'm just going to repeat it and 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 repeat it until I feel it in my core and it becomes my truth. And a lot of this already is my truth, but because I'm human, just like because you're human, sometimes we don't automatically think about those things. Instead, we collect proof of how it's too hard and how we're not winning and how we're too far behind and it's just not for us and it's going to take too long. Do you want to spend time watering those thoughts? If that was a person, if your thoughts were a person in your life, would you choose to hang out with them? If not, then you get to do something different. You get to find new thoughts. That podcast I shared by Trent Shelton a while ago, I'm going to drop it in the comments again because some of you are just now finally listening to it and it's changing your whole freaking life. And I think it's amazing. I've listened to it 4 times and I never listened to podcasts again, but it was really good. I'm going to drop that in the comments too, okay? So one final time. Think it with me. Feel it in your heart. Take a deep breath while I tell you this, okay? I expand in abundance, success, and love every day, and I inspire those around me to do the same. Receive it, feel it, become it. You guys, it's not just about where we're at the end of things. It's about how we show up every single day and all the proof and all the wins and all the data that we collect. You get to do that. You can do that. You are doing that. If you're here and you're plugged in, and you're watching my videos, you're replying to my messages, then you're here. You're doing the work. So allow yourself to reap the benefits and find the wins and collect the proof and all the stuff. Cool? Cool. So yeah, it's going to be hard. And yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. And yeah, there's going to be days you don't really want to. And maybe you'll be like me and you'll have a big handful of potato chips in your hand at the end of the night. You'll be like, I'm undoing everything I did. That's not true. Okay? You're just human. It's all right. It's all right. Catalog your wins. There's a post in here pinned. I want to know what your wins are today. Maybe you drink your water. Maybe you put your feet in the grass. Maybe you unplugged from something. Maybe you canceled something on your calendar. I've canceled 2 things on my calendar this week because they weren't serving me and they were creating stress and drama. And I'm the author of my story. I'm an adult, and so are you. We don't have to do things that we don't necessarily want to do all the time. You get to say no. It's not selfish. It's not selfish. Like, you get to do that. You get to do that. You get to do that.